Alright, how's it going everyone? My name is Josh. Welcome to a coding challenge in 50 lines or less. Hope you're doing well. Today we're going to be working on the Fibonacci sequence. This is a pretty freaking awesome sequence. I think it's a good beginner challenge. So the way it works is, I'm going to expand this here. You start off with two numbers, normally 1 and 1. That's what we'll be working with. And you get the next number by adding the last two. Alright, so if I lost you there, let me explain. We start off with 1 and 1, and then we get the next number by adding, the last two numbers in the sequence. So 1 and 1, that gives us 2. Then 2 and 1, that gives us 3. 3 and 2, that gives us 5, and so on and so forth. I'll leave this Wikipedia article in the description in case you're still confused. That's the word. If you're still confused on what's going on. But try it yourself. Write in JavaScript. Try to make something that makes this Fibonacci sequence happen. And come back when you're done and I'll show you how I did it. Alright, so I'm assuming you finished this challenge or you just want to see the answer. So I'm going to show you how to do it in 50 lines or less. So I already set up this HTML page beforehand, but I'm going to leave this as a Codepen in case you literally just want to copy what I have set up here. But it's a pretty simple page. I just have a list here and then a button. So that when I click the button, it adds the next number in the sequence. And I think it's pretty simple. I am using jQuery, so keep that in mind. Doesn't make things too much different, but it does make things easier in my case. So in jQuery, you normally always start off with when the document is ready, call for this function, and this means when the document loads, do everything inside here. All right, so we got that going. Now we're good to go. We can write our code. Now, let's think how we're going to approach this, because there are many ways to approach this. But I personally think the best way to do this is using an array. And I'm going to call that array numbers. And let's put in our array our first two starting numbers, 1 and 1. And now, let's just make a function called next number. Next number. You can call it whatever you want. I'm just going to call it next number in my case. Alright, cool. This next number function, this is what's going to allow us to add the new number in the sequence to the page. So the first thing we have to do is get the last two numbers of the sequence, right? Because we want to add the last two numbers. So first, let's set a variable. Let's just call it n equal to numbers.length. This will give us how many items are in our array. So it'll give us 2 right now. And from there, let's set the first number 1, equal to numbers of n minus 1. Now, if I'm trying to get the last number in the sequence, why would I do n minus 1? Well, remember that arrays in JavaScript, the first item is actually indexed by calling, like if I want to call this first item, I'd call numbers of 0. And if I wanted to call the second item, I would call numbers of 1, right? So you got to remember that. So I want to call the last item by getting the length and subtracting 1. I could always just also do this and then just call numbers of n. That would totally work too. But I'm gonna go with this for now. So I'll call n minus 1. Great. And then the second number is just going to be equal to numbers of n minus 2. There we go. And oops, var number 2. All right, now we just have to add these together, right? And then we get our new number in the Fibonacci sequence. So let's set the variable new number equal to number 1 plus number 2. And one thing we have to remember is we have to update our array with this new number. So let's numbers.push. This means add a new item to the array. Let's add our new number so we can use it for next time. All right, from here, let's just add this new number onto our HTML page. So I just have an unordered list. Let's append a new list item. This is a jQuery specific thing. So if you're curious, that's what this is about. A new list item with a new number. And let's end that list item. So that's the main reason why I'm using jQuery, because it makes this part a lot easier. All right, I'm getting a warning here. Never mind, it went away. All right, sweet. Now I think all we need to do is call this function with a click of a button. So my button is just called button. And when we click it, we want to call that function. And our function is called next number. Cool. let's see if this works. Let's pull up our page here. We click next number. There we go. It added that number, then the 3, then the 5, then the 8, 13, 21, 34, 55. So there we go. We have a working Fibonacci sequence. You could play around with this, have different starting numbers, but it works. So that's it for this coding challenge. We definitely got it in 50 lines or less. It was actually pretty small, 27 lines, but we still had a lot of white space. Stay tuned for the next coding challenge. In 50 lines or less, we'll be making a genetic algorithm, which is pretty awesome. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.